Hello everyone, it's Jess from Marks of Motherhood, and today I'm going to show you the Lillebaby Complete All Seasons Breathable 3D Mesh Carrier. It works from newborn to 4 years old, 7 pounds to 45 pounds. So I ordered my carrier online from Bed Bath & Beyond because I get a lot of their mobile coupons, and they had a few options for the Lillebaby All Seasons carrier. But they were all solid prints except for this one, and I thought this was just a fun print to get it in. The colors showing on the camera are pretty true to color. It's just arrows and like a tealish blue green, and it's just really, really pretty. I was super grateful that this came with a manual, because the first thing I wasn't sure about was how to make this into the narrow seat, and the inside of the manual is pretty explicit with instructions that are easy to follow, so that's really nice. I like the size and design of their logos. They have it here on the lumbar support, they have it here when it's folded down, and then also when you snap it up, it's up there on the top. And then they just have the little design on all of the zippers that's on their logo. So I like that all of that matches up, and I'm really impressed with it. I'm impressed with the detail that's everywhere, with all the different sections of it, the different snaps, the different buckles. I'll go into some of the ones that I've used already and figured out as I used it over the weekend, and then I'll show you how it fits on both my husband and I carrying our 3.5-year-old and our toddler. So this is the main part of the carrier, and I'm going to start first with all the straps. So the straps all come with the option to roll them in, and they have this little tag here that loops around when it's rolled up, that then goes over this part like this here. And all the straps that hang have this option. So they all have the little tags so you can roll them up, and then they're not hanging everywhere. Now to buckle them on, when you are just wearing this like a regular carrier, we'll turn this around, you can buckle this onto your hips, and when it's in backpack mode, you don't need the lumbar support. So you just have this safety belt, which I really like, because only one time in the 3.5 years I've carried my kids has a carrier not buckled, and I have fast reflexes, so nothing happened. But I did really like this feature, that just in case it doesn't buckle in all the way or something happens and it comes undone, there's this safety strap, then it's not going anywhere. As you can see, kind of tugging on it. And that'll help it stay in place. If you're wearing it as a front carrier, this part of the strap just goes through these two loops. And they go through the loops pretty easily. You just slip it through this one. At first, I was a little skeptical about having a lumbar piece on the carrier, but my back does hurt when I carry them for too long, and this surprisingly does really help. It's really comfortable. It's kind of a pad. I mean, it's not like a cushy pad, but it does add just the right amount of support that I'm not feeling it as much on my back when I'm carrying them in the front and in the back, and that includes carrying my 35-pound toddler. And the last thing here on the inside of the carrier is just when you have a newborn, they have this buckle, which I could take off, but it doesn't bother my kids and I don't want to lose it, so I'm keeping it attached to the carrier. Now back to the front, we're going to look at these shoulder straps. So where the buckle buckles, it has this little padded circle that goes there. So this isn't always in the center of your back, obviously. It kind of always stays here off on the side because it's attached right here on the buckle. But that was really nice, because I do hate when buckles are digging on you in the front. In fact, sometimes I use the lumbar support even when I'm carrying it backpack mode, because then the straps aren't digging into my stomach. And And also what I really like is my husband and I are different heights, and with this you can actually adjust where this sits on the shoulder strap just by loosening it, and it moves up and down the shoulder strap. So that makes it really nice, because at first I was trying to buckle it onto my shoulders and it was really hard to do, and I was like, oh, I wish these went up a little bit higher. They're a little down lower because my husband used it last. Then I realized I could move them up, so that was a really nice feature that I haven't seen on other carriers, is that you can move this up and down. I mean, it is on the one carrier I have, but this stays a lot more sturdy. It doesn't just easily move up and down, so I like that you can just have it adjusted and it stays in place. It's not going anywhere. And the last thing on these straps is that these buckles are for this additional head support. As you see right here, if you unsnap it, it has this little buckle here, and then it buckles up here into the shoulder, and that secures it. But since we're not really using that right now with any of my toddlers, it makes it really nice that it just tucks in here and you don't see it. And I thought that was really cool, that they kind of have a little hideaway spot on both straps for the head support rest. Alright, now we're just going to move down the carrier. So like I said, this is snapped down so this part isn't in her face when I'm carrying her forward facing, and she's big enough that she doesn't really need the extra support when she's facing towards me. So when this comes up, you have a separate pocket. This pocket here is actually deep enough to have my Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge inside the pocket here, which I like, because sometimes when you're carrying them, your pockets aren't really free to use. So this was a really nice feature to have, and it zips right up. Sorry. Kind of hard to do this one-handed, but there it is, and it zips right up, and that's about as deep as it goes, as the S7 Edge length. So I like that I can put my phone in here and a few cards, and it's easy to access in there. Alright, then kind of moving down, this is where the 3D mesh part of the carrier is. You just zip it down on either side all the way down. Then you roll it up, and there's this strap right here that just snaps down here, and then this isn't hanging down below, and it keeps that in place, and then it's just a little more breathable in the summer. Now this part right here can either be a shade in the summer, or also it's often used as a rain cover, and it just snaps up here depending what length you need it. There's 3 different options, which makes it really nice. Alright, and lastly is the option for the narrow seat. So this is the wide seat option, and now I'm going to show you the narrow seat. So you got to take off the lumbar support. Once the lumbar support is taken off, you can just slip this through. And do the same on the other side. Like that. And like that. These are off those, and you flip it over. And then you just fold it. So the right one goes first, then the left one, and you take this snap on the right one and snap it into the left one. And that's the narrow seat option. And that's usually the one I have it in, is the narrow one. So that is basically the gist of all the features. I have stuck little key rings for like my keys on this when we were out this weekend, and it worked well for that. And I just love this one. I mean, it fits my husband well, it fits me well. I love how easily it adjusts, and that there's these little ribbons to lock it into place so strings aren't hanging everywhere. I like that the shoulder straps move up and down, which is really nice for my husband and I. I mean, even the headrest up here can adjust for if you're carrying more of a newborn, or if you're carrying an older child. And it just has just the right amount of padding everywhere. Even the hip part that goes around your waist has more of the 3D mesh here, so it's a little more breathable, but also really sturdy and has some cushion to it too, so it's not uncomfortable to wear. And everything just kind of has its place when it's not being used, so I really like how organized and functional it is. This is my daughter. She's about 16 months old and about 22 pounds. And this is her in the front carrier. And I have the head support up so she doesn't just flop back. It does a lot better. When she's facing me, I like to have this up. Is that the button? Alright, and now I'm going to change her to facing forward, which is what she prefers. Alright, you ready?
Hi.
Ready?
Hi.
I'm going to take off the headrest. Take off both sides. Find the clip here. I'm going to clip here on the back. Then I'll just snap these in. It's usually easier to do this before you switch her out, but I already had her in the carrier. And this is her in the front position, and this is usually how she likes to be carried. Facing forward. She can play with everything. And that's on me. And this is on my husband, who is 6'2", and her facing him.
Hello.
And this is her facing forward on him. Alright, and this is my 3-year-old in the back. He's 35 pounds. And he's watching Super Y, so sorry for the background noise. But this is him in backpack carry, and this way I usually carry him.
Which word starts with the letter L?
You can, it stays in there pretty well. You can see it holds him in pretty well. And this is the Lillebaby carrier. Thanks for watching.